Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Witch Hat Atelier, episode 8, in which a witch will be in trouble and will presumably somehow get out of that trouble, but I have no idea how would that even be possible. So I'm very curious what's going to happen in today's episode. Let's start maybe with a brief recap. Well, in the previous episode, Agot convinced not so much Qifrey as she did convince Olorugio to allow her to go and help with the whole flooding situation. Though, in the end, all of the girls came as well to help, so she wasn't, special in that way, right? She wasn't the chosen one. We learned a lot about her ambitions, like why she wanted to go, right? Uh, it seems that in her childhood, she often heard that she's useless, that she's underperforming as a witch, so to speak, that her I don't know, her skills, her knowledge, her witchhood is not up to par to what the family expects, right? A lot of pressure to be good, to be great, to be, a renowned witch in some sense. And so she is struggling a bit with maybe not necessarily like inferiority complex, but a little bit, right? Like she's trying to overcompensate to the point where she doesn't really pay attention to anything else around her. She just pays attention to, cram this knowledge, do a thing, do stuff to, to be a good witch, right? To win at life. But what does it mean to be a good witch, right? There are different interpretations. And the episode talks a little bit about it when Olrugio asks Agot, think about what who is magic for, really. And Agot does come to a conclusion, I think, because the situation grows a little bit dire. Olrugio and well, everybody essentially, besides Agot and Coco, because they are the only ones who don't have flying boots, which raises the question: why were Agot's boots not fixed yet? But that's like besides the point. They were left behind because after the initial situation was remedied, right? Qifrey used his magic sword of water magic of greatness of full moon and slashed the water in half, and that saved everybody. But the water was, of course, still, very turbulent. And one boy decided to grab some merchandise because, of course, right? Like the first thing you think of when your life was saved by a hair because of turbulent water is to go back into turbulent water to save merchandise. Genius. But that's what he did. And it was up to Coco and Agot to save him. And Agot's thoughts initially were along the lines of, hey, like Olrugio isn't here, Qifrey isn't here, he's not gonna try to stop me from, taking action. This is my chance to like showcase my skills, to, show how good of a witch I am. But then she talked to Coco, and Coco was the first one to go help. And Coco's first concern at that moment was, how do we help that guy? Not for her life, not for her credit, right? Not for her accolades. Her first concern was for the other guy who was unconscious on a rock. And that kind of shifted Agot's perspective, I feel, and she understood what Olorugyo meant by who is magic for? Is it for you, or is it for those around you? And I think that was the answer. So Agot distracted the people around so that Coco can cast magic. She did cast the cracking spells that Riche drew in the labyrinth. She managed to crack the boulder to rescue the boy. She drew a levitation sigil on her cape and flown the boy out of the turbulent river. I really like the word turbulent today, huh? And it would have all ended well if not for the fact that Knights Morales have arrived, grabbed Coco and Agot, seemingly for no reason, but then we saw the reason. The entire river, the river bank, and who knows what else turned into dust. As if Coco's spell of turning a little bit of a rock into dust and exploding it kinda encompassed the whole stretch of the river. But it couldn't have, could it? Coco doesn't know how to cast spells like those. She certainly wouldn't have cast any forbidden spells even if she remembered them. But she cast those spells using her little round notebook. The spells of fire and levitation she cast in the kitchen were on sheets of paper that Qifrey gave her. The spell of levitation she drew on her own clothes. The little blasting charges she drew on the round notebook. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this is precisely Iguin's gift. Overpowered notebook. A notebook that somehow, I don't know, empowers every spell that is cast in it, or something to that degree. But that also means they are in hot water with Knights Morales, because the leader of Knights Morales doesn't seem to be the kind of a person who takes, oh, whoopsie doodles, I didn't know, it was an accident, as an excuse. Rather, he's the kind of guy who has a hammer and sees a nail everywhere. Right? Did I say it right? I did say it right. He's a hammer and sees a nail everywhere. Yeah, exactly. So it's not that they are, unwittingly kind of, involved in it. No. They're forbidden witches. They're fucking brim hats. Lobotomize them with the little black spell circle thingy with hands that's like reaching for Coco's eyes to crawl behind and just make mince of her brain, or whatever is the goal of that living spell. That was an empty bottle. I have to collect them because returning them returns like 50 groszy, and they are of course more expensive for that, but cool system. I have a whole lot of empty bottles in my flat. Okay. Regardless, how about we just start watching today's episode, right? What do I expect? I have no fucking clue. Like, I don't know how Coco could possibly get out of this situation aside from, I don't know, some sort of Deus Ex Machina. Like, Qifrey notices the light bird that Agot caused, flies in, and he arrives just in time to, like, Expelliarmus, the spell thingy from Knights Morales' hand, or something like that. But then how does she get out of the accusation of being a brim hat? I don't know, but at least, disarming him would give them a chance to talk, to explain, so maybe that's how we're doing it. I have no clue. So how about we just see exactly what happens, shall we? To do that, you will, of course, need your subs with timer that's already running to follow along with me. If you don't want to sync up your own copy to the timer and the subs here, you can go to my Patreon linked in the description and you can get a picture-in-picture version of the very same video with the anime episode here in the corner. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, of course. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs nothing to do so, and it helps the channel a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 8 of Witch Hat Atelier in 3, 2, 1, go. Starting where we ended. Yeah, of course. Kind of like whatchamacallit, like when they knock you out for surgery. Oh, hello, Richa. I did not expect Richa ex machina. Oh, Tetia's spell. You tell him, Tetia. Not the best, weapon if you can just burn it. Like, what, broken window theory? Yeah. Hello, Qifrey. Easties. Okay. Yeah. True. Right, but you don't even know who cast it. You don't even know how it was cast. Like, yeah, like, you don't know anything about the situation. I mean, yeah, if there are any in the area. Oh, he means, like, could the Brim Caps have taught them this spell? Which, I mean, it's exactly what happened. uh, well, not this spell specifically, right? But yeah, healing spells are forbidden, right? We can't heal him. Yeah, they're penance, not living flesh. It is. Hmm. See, that's the issue with the order, or whatever you wanna call them, with the fucking government. They don't let you use, a harmless healing spell. What could a healing spell possibly do? You could mutilate someone and heal them back and continue mutilating them. But that's unlikely to happen. Depending on how healing spells work, by continuously healing, you could force cancer in someone. But who would come up with something like that, right? Like, okay, I can understand banning spells that are like Avada Kedavra, I cast Nuke, right? I can understand that, but healing, like, in total balance, healing spells would do more good than evil, so... And it's not like you can't use regular spells for evil. Like those little tiny blasting charges, you could cause an avalanche. No problem. Just create enough of them and boom, a village is no more. Yeah. Notice how she drew the spell in his notebook. Not her own little round one. Yeah? They actually drew the calluses. Those are the hands of a hardworking student at a brim hat. Oh, it will prove to be the source of many problems. Not sure how many of them will have to do with brim hats, but I can assure you it will be a source of many an issue. Yeah, kinda. Especially not those two. Yeah. I mean, didn't you perform the spell perfectly? Yeah. She got what she wanted. And got a lesson in the process. Happy Agot! That's a rare sight. You did fuck all. Yeah. Yeah, something changed about her, right? Are we just gonna gloss over this entire fucking valley? Is it gonna fix it? fill it with water. Oh, now you're interested in facts. Now you're interested in what actually happened, huh? Eh. Menacing. Meanwhile, reality. No need for ink? Why is it winding like that? You couldn't have made it straight. Hat and pen. Or what was it? Ink. Yeah, that was the cap of the like ink bottle, yeah. Maybe it's not the notebook, it's the ink? Like forbidden ink from the Black Shores or something? Blood ink? I mean, true, yeah. Oh, ink mixed with blood. What are you vague posting about? True. True. And a good excuse. Into the ink. But didn't Coco use the levitation ink? The levitation. Didn't she use the ink to cast levitation spell on her clothes? Or did she use like Agot's vial or something? Hmm. Oh, of course. Just a. Yeah. I mean, a door cannot exist without a, handle. So, of course, adding a handle to a wall makes a door. Yeah. Duh. Of course, it's the doorknob that decides what the room behind the door is. Are you stupid or something? Oh? It's not a cut, that's a scrape, an abrasion. He's more of an alchemist, I presume. Yeah, maybe put him down. Hmm. Hmm. Look at this ink. Floating chair. That's cool. Was it drawn with the same ink that Coco has? Ah. Blood. How do you even use, like, magnifying glass to look at ink? Like, what does it show you? Yeah, okay. He's connecting the dots. Yep. Seems to be the case. Tiny little spell and a huge effect. Probably is what's gonna happen. Hmm. So not only do you can you modify how spells work by using different seals, but also by using different inks. I wonder if you can mix inks with dyes in like field conditions. Like you'd be like, you know, oh, I need something that lasts longer. A pinch of this, a pinch of that, stir it around, and I have cool ink. Or like you could have a whole, assortment of vials with different inks underneath your cape and just this one, this one. There's a lot of potential here. I mean, you're wearing a hat, so yeah, let's maybe not do that. Can you not see color? Flash out. And all the dyes are mixed now. Yeah, but they're out of order. And he can't tell which is which now. Because he's colorblind. And the labels came up. Shit. Yeah, okay, but it wasn't your fault. So, I don't think your grandpa will have much of an issue with that. Hmm. Yeah, colorblind to some degree. I mean, even if colorblind, he should be able to tell at least some of them apart. Unless we're talking like complete grayscale vision. Silverwash eyes. Something to do with the silver tree? Like you fell into a cauldron when you were a kid? Twinned bottle spell. Oh, and Egwin can always refill it. Hmm. Yep. Sure seems that way. Don't you fucking dare. You're acting sus right now, Qifrey. Like, you're giving off villain vibes. Not gonna lie. Treason. High treason. Okay. Now what about the pen? Oh, that's the episode. So, does she have a pen yet? Or are we gonna have to visit for like the third time? Okay, so grayscale vision. Yeah? And because you can't use healing spells. Just saying. But you will never see Mr. Nolnoa again, so. uh, okay, he's alive. What flash? Ah. Grandpa got lobotomized. A nightmare stained in black. Qifrey doubles in forbidden magic. Color me surprised. Except not really. Okay. That was a fun episode. Let's watch it again, shall we? So. There's no need to be afraid. Yeah, says you, who's on the other side of this weird thing trying to climb behind Coco's eye or whatever it's trying to do. Burned just like that. Yeah, the cavalry's here. They burned the pennants. Probably not the best, as I said, probably not the best weapon if just any random fire spell can burn them. You'd think they would have some sort of fire resistant enchantment cast on them, and I realized I don't need my headphones anymore. I don't know. Or maybe that's why they like use those pennants to restrict their target so thoroughly to not allow them to cast any spells, which I guess makes sense if they are used to hunt whatchamacallit, brim hats, right? You probably wouldn't want them casting any spells. I hate those who think children are inhuman creatures called children. I think I kinda understand what she's talking about here, right? Like, some people do have this sort of view that children are like its own thing, not small humans who will be big one day, right? Like, I think in our like real world, so to speak, one of the best examples of that is people giving all sorts of like tragedy names to their children, right? Because, well, it's a kid, it's like an accessory. And I really liked, I don't know, I really like McDonald's, so I named my daughter McFlurry, right? And it's my accessory. Oh, meet my daughter McFlurry. It's a conversation starter. Without thinking that one day there's gonna be a 30-year-old grown woman with the name McFlurry, assuming she doesn't change it, right? Some people do have this sort of weird approach to children, treating them more as pets than as humans. I think that's what she means here, right? Like, uh, what was the line that prompted it? Yeah, who are they? Their children. Which, I mean, it is an apt observation. They are children, and for all intents and purposes, that is probably one of the things that matters the most here, right? They're not adult, full power brim hats. They are just children. But I guess it could be taken as instead of the first thing coming to their mind being their apprentice witches. They're witches. They're someone's apprentices. The first thing that came to his mind is children. I know. I don't know why it prompted Reach's text here. I wonder if this is giving us a little bit of an insight into Reach's mind. Like, she's the only one with whose past traumas we haven't dealt yet. Like, she was always being dismissed because she's small and demure and tame. So everybody was like, "Oh, ho, ho, ah, ha, ha, look at the spell that Richa did. Oh, how delightful." Meanwhile, she was like showing them the result of her research for the past week or something like that. Circumstances don't matter, yada yada. Los. Ruru. We need Ruru. I've talked a lot for someone who adamantly refuses to listen. Estis. Istis. However you want to pronounce it. We know his name. And we know that he knows Qifrey, because Qifrey was probably problematic during his day. Spells powerful enough to change the terrain itself. Yeah, I mean, spells like that would sure be dangerous. You could essentially, like, level a city without much of an issue. You could turn a meadow that foreign armies marching through into a marsh or into quicksand or whatever, right? Yeah, okay. Those are like actually, weapons of mass destruction, so to speak. It's wrong to take someone's memory without even asking the circumstances. Yeah, exactly. I mean, in general, it's wrong to act without asking for circumstances. And, I don't know. It. What was I trying to say? I guess it plays more into that feeling of a dystopia that the Knights Morales act first and don't ask. Maybe it's just him and his squad. Maybe it's a general modus operandi of Knights Morales as a whole, right? Like they would rather lobotomize someone who's not guilty than let someone guilty go, kind of an approach. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, you're witches, right? You're like, you claim to be upkeeping the law, so maybe do the witch thing and help the people here. If we can get him to a doctor soon, I saw it, magic can repair penance, so magic has to be capable of healing. No, it's not, and you are bullshitting right now because you know full well that it is. But of course, we can't tell that to non magical people, to the outsiders, because if they knew that magic can heal, but we don't allow for it to heal, they would start asking questions. And eventually, perhaps the outsiders would run into brim hats. And that could pose issues, which kind of raises the question, why do brim hats not recruit from among the outsiders? Right? Like, they do. And Coco is the best example here, isn't it? Isn't she? They do recruit from among the outsiders. But you have to have an actual, like, desire to learn that by all means. Egwene, when she was giving that book to Coco, had more books like that with her. Presumably, some children read through that book, didn't understand it much, and just kind of put it on the shelf because their fascination with magic was not enough. Coco's fascination with magic was strong enough to push her to eventually discover the secret. Yeah, yeah, they are recruiting from among the outsiders, but of course they can't do that overtly. Like if they had a recruitment drive, then Knights Morales would arrive, just lobotomize everybody, and that's how it would end. So, seal off the site to keep all non-witches out. We'll resume the investigation. Well, I don't know about you, but I have not seen them doing no investigating. So, I know what that investigation entails. Yeah, just a regular, unremarkable blasting charge. The rim caps sometimes tattoo seals onto themselves, forbidden spells to enhance or alter their physical form or make their casting more powerful. Yeah, stained with ink, calluses of a beginner. She's clearly a beginner student, right? She's not capable, she wouldn't be capable of casting a spell like that. Take care that you do not lose what you've already begun to learn. Right. Yeah, it was dangerous, but you pulled through, and you can get that test done. You clearly did good, and he does see a change in Agut. She's not standoffish anymore. Like, she's a little shy, right? But not standoffish. She's blushing a little, right? Her whole entire demeanor changed. If the rumors are true, right? The rumors that Coco is uh, the one that petrified the house, and which she is the one, but now apparently he's interested in in the truth, and not just rushing in, being like, "Oh, you're the one responsible. I heard the rumors. Get lobotomized." It's not possible to find evidence in that petrified house. We'll have to make her confess. And a non sequitur about, well, not really non sequitur, about the river. Once beautiful scenery, once lost, can never be restored. True, it can never be restored, but it can change. And nature has that weird property that it takes over. So soon enough, there will be water rushing down this ravine. Soon enough, there's going to be vegetation covering the banks if water doesn't fill at all. Right? And humans also, change the world around them. Soon enough, there's going to be a bridge, maybe a barge. Maybe if this river turns out to be big enough, there's going to be a new port. Right? Things adapt. Divert the river's flow and alter the environment beyond. The once beautiful scenery, once lost, can never be restored. Arguable. The nature doesn't care. Nature don't give a fuck. Nature does what nature does. A landfill will become a forest given enough time. A city will crumble and become a forest given enough time. A magically created scar on the terrain will be covered in lush vegetation eventually, given the time. The scenery will be different, yes, but you can say that the beauty of it can never be restored. That girl could be the first rock. I must pluck her out before she gets the chance to fall. Because he thinks she might lead to the beautiful scenery be lost and unable to be restored. The order of the world collapsing and only evil emerging. But what if not? What if what happens is a change? Yes. Perhaps a big change incoming. But not for the worse. But for the different. Right? I think that analogy works here. Like him being stuck in the ways of, well, there's a scar on the terrain now and it will never be beautiful. If Coco, starts the revolution, the world will never be in order. Meanwhile, the truth is that the scar in the ground will be beautiful one day. The revolution that Coco starts might also end up beautiful and bring a new order. Which usually doesn't mean anything good, but I love the contrast here. I must pluck her out before she gets the chance to fall. And he sees her as this, ethereal, highlighted from behind, the rim lighting on her, eyes almost glowing. And this is the reality. Rubius got a special pen, Sear Wire Wand, that can sear spells into rock and wood. Which begs the question, do you really need ink? Unless this wand uses ink in some capacity. I don't know. Why would it be special if it just used ink? Maybe it has like an internal container for ink. It's like like an automatic pen, right? Where you fill it up with ink and you can draw it without having to use the little jar with ink. Maybe that's what it is. Also, curiously, Olorugio's grip on his pen is very wide, right? Kind of like Coco with her stone, and kind of like the pen that we've seen Coco have in the OP. I wonder if there's some like level of connection that Coco and Olorugio can find over it. Let me note it down just in case. Where is it? Witch Hat Atelier. Olorugio also uses a chunky pen, bonds over it with Coco. Like maybe he gives her this pen to like try it out or something, and whoa, her spells are suddenly way better because she has a nice wide grip. And we create a very winding sand bridge. I don't know why it's winding. It doesn't have to be winding. It can be straight, but whimsy. I'm gonna chalk it up to whimsy. The rending spell's effects must be wearing off. And here's the hat, and here's the ink. Right, does it continuously refill? And we know the answer to the mystery. It's spatially bound to an exact same vial that Egwene has, and she refills it regularly with her own blood. Which, I mean, I guess we know where brim hats get their evil reputation from. Usually, blood rituals are not, good, so to speak. Unless it's Marcel reviving Fallen, although that's also arguable. This is an amazing area. I love it. In general, I love the. Where is it that's like full of like black beaches and black shores? Is it Iceland? I know Iceland is known for those like basalt columns, which I also very much enjoy. Which I guess it would stand to reason that if there are basalt columns on the shores, they would turn into basalt sand. So it's probably Iceland that I like so much. And the rows of stones, almost like bones, like teeth poking out of the ground. No vegetation at all, whatsoever, not even moss. And Egwene sitting on a rock. Magic is a lie that fills the world with color. Look at how stained with ink they become. How long can the truth remain hidden? What truth? Like, that whole scene was where to point out to only be about, oh, those mainstream witches will learn that the brim hat magic is good, right? It goes beyond that. There is something innate to magic that the brim hat, or at least Egwene, are privy to, and nobody else is. Something about the source of magic. Like, initially, it seemed very odd to me that magic ink would be created of rot and decay, right? The decaying blackened leaves of the silvern tree. Something about that? Maybe? Like, magic is fueled by condemned souls? I don't fucking know. Something sinister about magic, probably. Yeah, we're getting a pen and we're getting 2 bottles of wine. And yeah, obviously a different doorknob leads to a different room. Duh. Are you stupid or something? So many unfamiliar components. Mix them into the ink to alter its effects. I like it. I really do like that we are like expanding the magic system slowly but surely, right? It it almost kind of feels like a game slowly introducing mechanics to the player. You reach level 20 and you unlock dice, and you can mix dice with your ink to alter the spells, right? It feels kind of like that. And I can appreciate that. Because if we learned about all of it from the get go, it might have been a bit too much information all at once, but we're pacing it out. I wonder if. Well, we know that there are different pens. Olorugyo has the whatever seer pen that can sear spells into rock and stone. Which again, how the fuck does it work without ink? But maybe it does have ink. I don't know. But yeah, we know there are different pens. We haven't seen any different pens though, besides Olorugyo's. But it leaves us that, another mechanic that we unlock at level 40 where we are introduced to different pens and their properties, kind of sort of deal. It's cool. I like it. I like how much the idea of different dice opens up the world. Because I can imagine different witches using different dice to different degrees, right? Like I can see some witches being like, I only use the basic ink. This is what we were intended to use. This is the basic thing. I don't do no dice. This is the most versatile. I can do whatever with it. There can be some witches who are like, well, I actually carry at least 20 vials of differently dyed ink with me at all times in case I need a stronger spell or a longer spell or something, and they're super into it. There might be some who have like one specific ink that they swear by, right? Like, oh, I never could draw the uh, strengthening thing all that well, so it's always weaker, but I make up for it by using a strengthening ink. Or someone has like a special blend of a little bit of straightening, a little bit of making the spell last longer, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and there's like only one single ink maker who knows the recipe, and he always has to go to that ink maker to get his special ink made, right? There is a lot of potential, a lot of possibility, a lot of opening the world. And mind you, we still haven't fully explored the like spell drawing itself. Like we know the 4 basic seals, and we know some like directional markings, and that's about it. Like how many of those could there be, right? The casting seal drawn on those paving tiles. Try the spell to separate out the magic dice, but they're blended together quite thoroughly. Faint blue hue, it's identical. Right, so this was the exact spell, like Igwin's special blend that was used to create that seal. It happened that, which I guess explains why her magic was able to create an entire whole fucking huge pocket dimension, right? I also wonder what kind of ink was in the pen that Coco got with the book. Was it the same ink? And that's why everything in the vicinity got crystallized? Had she drawn that crystallization spell with regular ink, maybe it would have only like crystallized her room or her desk. But because she used ink mixed with Igwin's blood, the whole entire house was crystallized? Maybe. I can see that being the case. Like, well, it would be a lie to say that we haven't seen any large scale spells from non Brim hats, because Qifrey did create that big piss dragon once, right? And that was quite a big spell. But we usually see the pointy hats use like a fire to cook my meal, a little bit of water because I'm thirsty, right? Like this level of spell casting, not like big, huge, and bombastic spells. The brimmed cap cast a spell on the vial. Yeah, he's doing the thing that Coco did. Coco drew a spell without understanding what it does. Qifrey draws a spell with ink that he doesn't understand what it does. Like, you've no fucking clue what this ink is capable of. Maybe it's gonna create a big flashbang. Maybe it's gonna create another fucking destruction spell that will turn the entire city into dust. Because maybe that spell is hard coded into the ink. You've no fucking clue, and yet you're doing it for some reason without even letting the old man analyze it properly. What's that one that looks like aquamarine? The big one dangling from the ceiling. Yeah. Sparkly white one in the small bottle on the shelf across from it. Yeah, notice how Coco here always mentions like location and shape of the bottle and other specific things besides color about them, and that's why he's able to answer. You're not an apprentice witch. Apparently not. And yet he's wearing a pointy cap. Which begs a question like it was a big deal when Coco got her pointy cap, right? Like, you're a witch, you got the flower from the place, and you're a witch. You get your cap. He's not an apprentice, and he has a cap. Does it work differently for visually impaired witches or otherwise impaired witches? Yeah, just tell me the location. Big flashbang. Labels came off. You probably should have like stuck them onto the bottle instead of just tying them around, but Grandpa told me not to touch them, and now it's all a mess. I don't think your grandpa would have an issue with it if you were like, "Yo, Gramps, the flash startled us and some bottles were knocked over. Come help." I don't think he would mind at all. Can't tell them apart by the color. There's nothing you can do to help. My silver wash eyes. You can only see the world in silver. Like, you'd think that wouldn't stop you from being a witch. Ink is black, paper's white. You don't need color vision to draw spells. We haven't seen anybody utilize color in their spells. Like using different colors for different parts of the magic circle. Which actually is an interesting question. Can you mix different dyes? Like make the central seal using a green dye and then cast like strengthening spells with red dye and then make the circle around it with blue dye and it has some sort of cool combined effect. But yeah, I haven't seen anybody use color in their spells. So why would having grayscale vision prevent you from being a witch? Besides, stigma and whatchamacallit, other witches thinking they're better than you. That's how I'm gonna say it. For a casting seal that's small to pack a punch like that. Twinned bottle spell. 2 vessels sharing the same contents. Yeah. Small medal inscribed with a casting seal in the fluid. If they made Coco use this, it was still full because they refilled it with that mystery additive. With blood, apparently. This bottle is a link to them, and Qifrey goes through a bit of like a villain transformation, villain speech, right? At least I have it. I have the power to unleash the strongest spells. Nice smear frames on the hands. I must inform the Great Hall, neither the Knights Moralis nor the Great Hall can be allowed to have this. Right? Only I can have this. It's really giving the fucking Golem vibes, right? Like my precious bottle of overpowered ink. I will use it to my own evil devices. Do you realize what you're saying? Yeah, he's saying treason. What are you gonna do? He's gonna lobotomize you. What is he gonna do with that ink? Fuck if I know. I don't think Qifrey desires power. So, like, I don't think he's going to use that ink to, like, willy-nilly cast strong spells. Maybe if it comes to, like, him standing against some brim hats and he's like, "You killed my wife, die at your own petard," and his drawing using this ink and everything explodes. Like, sure, I could see that, but not in like day-to-day life. I'm sorry, Mr. Noah, you're gonna have to be lobotomized. He accidentally gave you some extremely expensive stuff, brought you a bag to make up for it here. Now, why hide the fact that it was Brimhat's doing from Coco? Coco knows that Brimhat's evil. Coco knows to not deal with Brimhat bullshit. I could have told her that ink was tampered with by the Brimhats. I got rid of it, even if he probably didn't. I got rid of it and got you a new vial. And this one's safe. I double, triple fucking checked. Right? He could have done that. Why is he hiding it from Coco? He got her a bag with a new ink bottle, seemingly. And it seems to be the same pen that she's been using. So they came here for a pen, and he didn't get her a fucking pen. That was your excuse, Qifrey. I didn't get Coco a pen, we're going to get her a pen, and he didn't get her a pen. Come the fuck on, dude. Come the fuck on. Makes see the entire world in silver. Witches tend to value good eyesight, so life is probably difficult for those with that condition. Witches is how unaccommodating we are of exceptions. Coco uses forbidden magic to heal Tarta. Tarta, or at least offers to do so. To which he could be like, no, what the fuck, forbidden magic? You want to use forbidden magic on me? Get the fuck away, you witch! Which, I mean, apt description, but... You'll be fine. As long as you're a student at my atelier, I'll do everything I can to protect you. Everything. There's nothing for you to worry about. Nothing at all. Not even Mr. Nolnoa. That light earlier startled me and the jars all got knocked down. Where that flash of light came from anyway? What's this flash of light? I don't remember any flash of light. And you fucked up, Qifrey. And you fucked up. Because you erased his memory. Not Tarta's. Not Coco's. Not other people living around. Nolnoa's gonna, walk out to get some groceries, and the neighbor's gonna be like, yo, Nolnoa-san, what the fuck was that flash of light yesterday? He's gonna be like, what? What flash of light? I don't remember any flash of light. And everybody's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck was that? And he's eventually gonna figure out that, hey, everybody's telling me there was a flash of light. I don't remember a flash of light. It's probably me. Someone tampered with my memory. Who the fuck was that? Well, Tata says it was during Qifrey's visit. That fucker. I'm going to the Knights Morales. Right? Qifrey didn't think this through. Which is interesting. He acted on impulse? Probably not. But he acted in the moment. He didn't have like some big, huge plan. He just did what he felt he had to do in that specific moment. Which could come around and bite him in the ass. Very much so. Another question, how much of his memory did he remove? Another question, what did he use to remove that memory? Knights Morales have that weird white on black spell with them. Does Qifrey have one? Was Qifrey a Knight Morales at one point? Qifrey was Knight Morales. That's why he knows the secret to erasing memory. In some sort of fight against the Brim Hats, he sustained injuries. That's why his right eye is covered. He's like blinded in that eye, or maybe they cast some curse on it or something like that happened to it. Something else happened, probably because I don't think that he'd be this obsessed with Brim Hats if all they did was like gave him a fucking cataract, right? Someone close to him died. It's probable. It would be the very, very classic setup of you killed my wife, prepare to die. And then he left Knight Morales. Because of his eyesight. Which ties into the little talk about Witches tend to value good eyesight. One problem with witches is how unaccommodating we are of exceptions. His eyesight is fucky wacky. He doesn't have a lens in the right thingy on his glasses. It's completely blacked out. He's covering his right eye. Something's fucky wacky with it. Qifrey as a knight sustained an injury to his eye, which forced him to leave the order. Yeah, I can see that being the case. A nightmare stained in black. Well, black probably refers to ink. I've got nothing more. Probably dealing with the brim hats, let's be honest here. It's probably what's gonna be happening. Yeah, I think that's it. So, this was a cool episode. This was another one of the episodes that shows us the teeth and claws that this story has. Right? It showed the fucking Qifrey's villain speech, in particular, shows his obsession. It's not it's not like him being focused on the brim hats and on getting them and getting his revenge or whatever. No, this is obsession. It's still a big mystery to me why, right? Why is he so obsessed with the brim hats to the point where he's not above using their own methods, using their own spells to get at them, to get to them, to find them? And to what ends does he want to find them? To what ends does he want to find them? Does he want them to reverse some curse? Does he want revenge? I don't know. I have no idea. I wonder if Qifrey is gonna actually be using that ink. I wonder if Egwene knows that the ink vial is no longer in Coco's possession. Maybe she's gonna keep refilling it, maybe not. Maybe she'll notice that it goes unused and come to the conclusion that it got. Then she can disconnect the bottles. Presumably it's something that she can do on her side. But if there is a medal with an inscription inside of the bottle, Qifrey can fish it out and what? That's a big question here, isn't it? And what? What does it give him? Can he trace that magic? Probably not. Or maybe he can. Maybe that's what he's counting on. Is he hoping that because of taking the ink away from Coco, the Brim Hats are going to attempt another contact to fuck with her again, and he's gonna be ready? Maybe that's what he's counting on. That he will become enough of a thorn in the Brim Hat's side that they will have to make their move at him directly, and he will be ready for that. That is gonna get to the point where the Brim Hats cannot ignore him. Maybe. So many unknowns. So many unknowns still, and it's episode 8. Like we're, 4 episodes? 4 or 5 episodes from the end? 5 episodes from the end. and we still have no fucking clue about things. But you know what? That's cool. I'm perfectly fine with that. Not every show, not every story has to like dump everybody's backstory, everybody's motivations, everybody's like goals in life and everything like that, like from the get-go, right? Like some stories do that, some anime, some manga. Like the first chapter is action, the next 3 chapters are exposition, and then it's just action with no exposition whatsoever, right? Kind of like that. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's keeping me interested and excited to learn more. It's not the it's not a bad kind of not knowing, right? Where I'm kind of just stumbling in the dark, not being able to understand anything because the show didn't tell me what's what. It's the good kind, where the show doesn't tell me what's what, but that knowledge isn't necessary right now, and the show is telling me enough for me to understand it, for me to enjoy it, but it's keeping its deep secrets and giving me a tease that like it's all written, it's all known. The author has a Google Doc or a fucking internal wiki, fucking media wiki hosted somewhere with all the links and everything written down. Like it's done, it's known. We're just portioning it out for you, right? The good kind of not knowing. And I started rambling, which means it's probably the time to end this episode. So I think that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. If so, say so in the comments down below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe and click the bell button. Yeah, the bell button to be notified of future videos that I'm gonna be uploading. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below. On Patreon you get access to picture-in-picture versions of every single episode I release. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to share my content, spread the word. It costs absolutely nothing to do so, and it helps the channel a lot. And now with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful supporters: QB, Jackwit, AL, Floor Nightingale, Dr. Watt, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to be lobotomized by Qifrey.